Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Miles and I like to talk about books. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you. So today I am filming outside. Sorry if it's a little loud, if you can hear some cars. I'll try to keep it from getting too bad, but I thought this would be the perfect video to film outside because I am going to be sharing a reading update with you as well as my summer TBR. So I figured let's just get right into it. I talked about this a little in my last video and I'm gonna do it here again too. I just want to draw some attention to the genocide currently happening in Gaza and give some resources down below where you can learn more about that and also where you can be donating to help people evacuate. I will be contributing to these and I hope you do too. I just wanted to say that before we get too far into things, but yeah, let's just get right into the video. So, what I just finished, if you watched my last vlog, you would know that I read Stone Butch Blues and On Writing by Stephen King, and I loved both of those books. Watch that vlog to hear more about that. But then right after that, I picked up Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, and this was just wonderful. I had the best time. It's Jurassic Park, you know what it's about. There's dinosaurs, they brought back dinosaurs, and they made a theme park about it. And somehow that was allowed to happen. And everything goes very bad. And this was a lot more fucked up and scary and tense than the movie, in my opinion. There's like multiple disembowelings, which you definitely don't get. The children are in much more danger of getting killed. I ended up giving this a 4-star. I was really surprised by how much I genuinely enjoyed this and found the writing pretty good. There's just a few like tropey things where, spoiler alert if you don't want to be spoiled, but like the day is saved by one of the kids who just knows how to fix this incredibly intricate computer system, and that just bugged me a little bit. And I don't know, there are just a couple things about it that made it so it wasn't a 5-star read. But I did want to talk about it because I just finished it yesterday and I just had a great time. I am really excited about this and I really want to read more of Michael Crichton's books, and I'm looking for more books like this. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. But the rest of his books sound like a little too crazy for me. Like, I don't know. Any Michael Crichton fans, let me know which one to read next if I really enjoyed Jurassic Park. And also just some books similar in vibe because I had a great time. I also wanted to say that I changed my reading goal from 100 to 50. It was no way I was gonna hit 100. I'm at like 16 books this year. I slowed down a lot this year just because I was graduating college and I was very, very busy. And there was no way in hell I was gonna get 100. And I wasn't really planning on it still, but just having that goal there was kind of stressing me out. So I changed it to 50. We might still not hit that, and that's okay. I'll tell you a few more things I'm reading right now. This is a fun, lighthearted nonfiction, Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents, which I definitely am one of those. And my therapist recommended this to me, and I have been kind of slowly making my way through it. And I think like most people should read this. If you suspect your parent might be under this umbrella, I think you should really check it out. It just does a great job of like kind of validating that and telling you like why you are the way you are. And I responded to my parents' immaturity by becoming like super hyper vigilant and like controlling everybody's emotions. I'm also the oldest child, so I 100% fit that T. So this has been really helpful in reading and I am really enjoying it. A couple other books I'm reading right now are Stolen Focus, which I'm listening to on audiobook because I am trying to repair my brain post-grad a little bit because it got rough for me. My attention span is just rough. It's not very good. I'm working on making it better, and this book is really helpful on kind of why we can't be torn away from our phones, and kind of trying to teach you how to think deeply again, I think is the subtitle. So I've really been enjoying that. There's definitely some things that I don't love about it. He talks a lot about ADHD and how it's not like a real thing. I don't know. I haven't gotten to that part yet. I don't think I'm going to agree with it very much, but everything else he's doing, I really agree with. So I'm just gonna maybe skip that chapter. But I've been liking it so far, and it has been helpful to me. I also just started today, I'm only like 10% into Gilded Needles by Michael McDowell. And if you know me, you know I love Michael McDowell. I am trying to get back into him and read the rest of his books because I just love him. This is like a Gilded Age, New York City, late 1800s historical horror. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I purposefully went into it blind, but I know I really love Michael McDowell. And it's different from his usual Southern Gothic, so I'm really excited about that. So let's get into the summer TBR, because it's massive. Kind of my goal with this TBR is to continue healing my love for reading and my relationship with reading. And so I'm trying to read things that just make me excited to read, which sounds obvious, but I think a lot of times we force ourselves to read things just because it seems like the smart person thing to do. And I'm trying to have fun this summer and rekindle that love that I kind of lost in the past year of school. So to start that, of course, we're going to be reading R.L. Stine's Fear Street, The New Girl. I don't really know what this one is about. I think she's a ghost. I'll let you know if that's real. You know, I love R.L. Stine. I'm a Goosebumps person 100%, but I loved the Fear Street books when I was a kid, and I haven't really revisited those. So I'm excited to read this one. That's gonna be, I'm probably reading that next. In a similar vein is Christopher Pike's Fall into Darkness. And I have actually never read a Christopher Pike. Seems very similar to the Goosebumps, maybe the more like teenage, like Fear Street. I think I'm really gonna enjoy this. I don't know anything about this, but it says right here, they say she murdered her best friend. And that just sounds wonderful and dramatic. And apparently the character who was murdered is named Anne Rice, which is funny. I don't know. Interview with the Vampire slide. But yeah, I don't really know about this. It's gonna be a fun time. And these two specifically out of all of the picks are really here for me to have fun, especially kind of trying to chase what I just had with Jurassic Park. So we're gonna do that. Next I have The Argonauts by Maggie Nelson. I've read some other books by Maggie Nelson, and I think in this she talks a lot. I don't know too much about this book. I think there's some gender talk in here. I think it'll be a good follow-up for like Stone Butch Blues. It definitely is a more serious, even like, is this like literary criticism technically? I think so. A work of auto theory. So I'm excited. Okay, yeah, so it does talk about Maggie Nelson's relationship with her partner and a journey to and through a pregnancy, sexuality, gender, and family. I just think this is kind of what I need right now, especially after reading Stone Butch Blues. I read an excerpt from this in like a queer studies class a while ago, and it really spoke to me about Maggie Nelson's like butch or mask partner. And so yeah, that's kind of drawing me to this. More Michael McDowell, the Blackwater Saga. I started this last summer. I read the first one, and then I got like a decent amount through of the second one, but I'm probably gonna start it over. I'm just trying to read more Michael McDowell. Honestly, maybe I should even reread the first one because I am not remembering too much of what happens. It is a Southern Gothic saga of like, I think 6 books that is following this family over generations and this woman who like came from the swamp, and I think it takes place in Alabama. It's very Southern Gothic, very creepy. And this is like kind of his magnum opus. And of course I have to keep reading it. And I love Michael McDowell. And I'm really happy I got my girlfriend Kate into Michael McDowell because she read The Elementals while we were in Florida a couple weeks ago. And so we're kind of just been big Michael McDowell heads lately. So I've even thought about making a whole video on Michael McDowell and like why you should read him. And so if anybody's interested in that, let me know. I have so many thoughts, but I want to be a little more well-read with his work before I get into that. Next up, I have The Witch's Cabinet, Plant Lore, Sorcery, and Folk Tradition by Corinne Boyer. I really enjoyed what I have read of this book, and I really want to read more of it soon. It's like a collection of essays about plant folklore, and I actually heard her talk on one of my favorite podcasts called Our Numinous Nature, where she talked about plant folklore, and I I just think it's really interesting. Like, she has one in here that's talking about, let's see, funerary trees, folklore and practices in grief and mourning. Very interesting to me. A folkloric apothecary, blood, shadow, and the rose, the diabolical duplicity of plant power. This is definitely like a little smart person for me, so that's probably why I didn't read it my last semester at school, but I have been really wanting to get to this one for a while. I bought it like around a year ago, so yeah. Next up, actually we'll put 2 books in this category. We have 2 Moomin books, The Moomins and the Great Flood and Moomin Summer Madness, both by Tove Jansson, who, if you don't know about the Moomin series, you should definitely check it out. It is this children's series, a Finnish children's series, and it's not just for kids though. It definitely has that, like, I don't know, it's just so ridiculous and whimsical and just such a fun time. And Tove Jansson was a lesbian, so I also just love it for that. And I love the Moomins. I have a Moomin tattoo. Like, I don't fuck around. And I'm just excited to read these 2. I actually haven't read The Moomins and the Great Flood. I'm imagining there's a Great Flood. And Moomin Summer Madness is kind of an annual read for me at this point. And now that it's summer and I'm excited about it, I'm just excited to read this again. These editions especially are just wonderful. I got it secondhand from a library, and it just has these beautiful illustrations in it. I'm just super excited about this. And once again, rekindling my love for reading. Oh, another thing that I am currently reading, but is a little on the back burner for me, is The Summer Book, also by Tove Jansson. And I'm really enjoying this. It is reading so quickly, but it's just such a nice time. It is about a young girl whose mom has just died, and so she's sent to live with her grandma on this like isolated Finnish island for the summer. It just has like this signature like wit and charm that everything that Tove Jansson writes has, and I'm just really enjoying it. It's that perfect mix of like sad and happy and funny and poignant. I'm really having a good time with this, but I kind of forgot about it, honestly. It's definitely more of like a series of vignettes, which I enjoy because it's easy to pick it up, put it down, and forget about it for a little while. Let's see. Let's do, this one's kind of out of the blue. This is a massive, basically a coffee table book, but I really want to actually go through and read it. And that is Jaws, Memories from Martha's Vineyard by Matt Taylor. And this, okay, if you don't know, I love sharks. One of my favorite movies of all time is Jaws. The book is fine. The movie, one of my favorites. I love it. I was obsessed with it as a kid. And so this is a lot about the making of Jaws, and which is just like kind of infamously like a pretty disastrous, crazy production. And it just has so many photos, and I'm just excited to check this out and to learn more about like one of my favorite movies ever. I think it will be a fun time. So I got this for my birthday, and yeah, I'm excited to read this one. I am really looking forward to reading this poetry collection by Audre Lorde. This is tonally just like all over the place. That's just what my channel is. This is The Black Unicorn. And I actually haven't really read any Audre Lorde before. I think I've just read it maybe in passing for a class, but I have read lots of poetry by Adrienne Rich, and I know that the 2 of them were close, and I think she's even quoted on the back of here, calling her an indispensable poet. And I am just really excited to read this, and it is a really pretty cover. I liked the title, and I'm just kind of going into this blind, but I know I'm going to love it. And so when I'm feeling like picking up some poetry, this is what I'm going to go for. Before I get to the rest of my printed books, I wanted to talk about a few of the books that I have on hold for audiobook right now. The first one is the 3rd book in the is it the Indian Lake trilogy by Stephen Graham Jones, and it's The Angel of Indian Lake, which I really loved the first one, My Heart is a Chainsaw. The second one was not as great, but I still really enjoyed it, so I'm really excited to finish out the trilogy. I love Stephen Graham Jones, shocker, and so I'm just gonna keep reading whatever he puts out. Also, horror movie by Paul Tremblay, I have that on hold, but probably won't get that till the end of the summer. I am looking forward to it though. I don't know what that one's about at all. I would imagine it's kind of that like meta horror vibe that's going on right now, similar with Stephen Graham Jones, but I am excited to read that. Once again, anything that Paul Tremblay or Stephen Graham Jones put out, I will be there because I love both of their work. Another book I have on hold that is probably going to take a while for me to get, so I might just go out and buy it, is the 100 Years War on Palestine. I have kind of, I've tried to do my own research, and I definitely could be doing better, so that's what I'm wanting to do with this book. It can be hard for me to absorb information through just like my phone and reading things online, and a lot of obviously things on social media are focused about what's happening now and not like the history of the occupation and the ongoing genocide of Palestinians. So I have heard this book is a really good source, and I've been really wanting to read it. It just is a matter of the audiobook. I think I have like a couple months wait time, and I would like to get to it sooner, so I'm hoping to maybe next time I'm at the bookstore find that. So those are my online holds, and then we'll finish it up with a few more books. If I don't make it to all of these by the end of summer, that's totally fine, but thankfully I've been feeling excited about reading again lately and really training my attention span and taking time to read in the morning and before bed and everything. So I'm feeling excited about reading, which is, I was not for the past like 6 months. Another fun one, Clyde Parker's Books of Blood, Volume 3. It's kind of a tradition for me at this point to read one of these every summer. For the past 2 years, I've read a volume. I did bring this down to Florida with me, but didn't end up reading it because I just had a bunch of other fun stuff. And I just love Clyde Parker. I love his weird blend of horror. I would probably equate him to like a Michael McDowell. Not just because they're both gay, but they both just like revolutionized horror in the 80s and still today. So I'm really excited to read this. Clyde Parker just has like such a unique, weird style of gay, sexy, weird horror, and I'm always there for that. So excited to read this. Next is Kappa by Renu Akutagawa. I have been wanting to read this one for a while. I picked it up, it's a very short little book. I picked it up at Barnes & Noble on a whim because the Kappa is one of my like favorite folkloric creatures. They are just like these little turtle guys that have like a divot in their head with water, and that is like their soul or like their lifeblood, and like if they bend over and the water comes out, they die. And like I just think they're funky. I like them a lot. And so I was immediately drawn to this book, but it seems like, oh wow, this was his last book before he killed himself. Cool. I think this is kind of like a political allegory for what was happening in Japan at the time that this was written in the like mid-20s, but I don't really know. I was just really excited about a book about kappas. It seems like it might be a little more than I bargained for, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And it's a short read, so I am excited to check this one out soon. I think it'll be a good like read in a day kind of vibe. Next we have It Came From the Closet, Queer Reflections on Horror. My girlfriend bought this for me. I don't remember when, but at some point, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. This is definitely when I'm feeling a little smarter and I would like to, read some nonfiction. But I'm excited to read these. I've definitely been kind of a film girly lately. If you guys are interested in videos about movies, let me know, because I've been watching a lot of movies lately, and I definitely have thoughts. But I am a big horror fan, so this seems right up my alley. Oh my god, I'm actually, speaking of queer horror, if y'all have seen Sleepaway Camp, which is very controversial, but this like series of movies in theaters. I go to this like small local movie theater, and they do this thing every month where they bring a cult classic to the big screen, and they're doing Sleepaway Camp next month. I'm so fucking excited for that. Like, ugh, I can't wait to see that on the big screen. I think it'll be really fun. But since I'm a big fan of movies like that, this is going to be right up my alley. I honestly haven't really heard of any of these writers. I really thought there was somebody, oh, there is, okay, Carmen Maria Machado is like sandwiched, hidden right in the middle of there. So obviously I know who she is and I love her very much. So I'm excited to read her essay, but I'm excited to also like discover some new writers from these essays. Second to last, we have Serpent, Siren, Melstrom, and Myth, which is a collection of sea folklore from around the world. Obviously, this is up my alley. Definitely taking a little bit of like a folklore break since school, but this is my type of shit. So I'm excited to read this. Kate got this for me and it looks really cool. What else can I say? And I wasn't in the mood to read more folklore because I was in school, but I think this will be the perfect thing to like get me back into that. And then last but not least, we have The Bird's Nest by Shirley Jackson. Shirley Jackson is one of my favorite writers, and I haven't read that much of her stuff in a little bit. I also haven't read that much of her stuff in general, so I'm kind of similar to Michael McDowell, even though they're very different people. Two of my favorite authors. I'm just like slowly making my way through their catalogs, and this will remind me of why I love reading. I don't know what it's about, and I don't want to. I'm just gonna kind of dig into it one of these days. So yeah, that is a little reading update, a little summer TBR. I hope you enjoyed. I had a really nice time filming outside, so I hope it's not too loud in the background. It is so pretty right now here in North Carolina. I am really enjoying the summer. I'm working my ass off, but I have been reading so much and just loving life, guys. Post-grad is fucking awesome. I am so glad to be done with college. But yeah, and I'm happy to be sharing all this with you. This felt like a very nice, organic video to film. That is all I have to share with y'all today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and leave me a comment down below. Let me know, have you read any of these books? What do you think? Do you have any book recommendations for me? Because I am definitely open right now. And yeah, subscribe if you want. I'm almost at like 950 subscribers, which is super cool. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.